Cheers! And cheers to an excellent cruise, Mother.
Yeah.
The dearest.
And we haven't fallen out either. It's been lovely to get back on the high seas again. Captain's been great. First time I've been on a cruise where we've left early from port, so we had a more comfortable ride. And then coming back into Dover, he decided that we'll put his foot on the pedal and get us there a bit quicker to Dover to save us a big, uncomfortable night. So yeah, it's the first time it's happened. I think that's great. Just thinking of the smooth
The
ride.
first time ever?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, for a comfortable ride, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, because obviously you've had a lot more experience than I have. You've sort of experienced that
yeah,
before.
we've had no waves over the balcony this time. That's a relief.
Yeah. Babe, this game was kind to us, but I think it's
very.
because, as you said, we left a bit of buffier early. I mean, was it 7?
Yeah, we were supposed to leave at
leave, but then we left at 3.
We left at 3.
Yeah.
But the sun wasn't shining. It was
Yeah, but
pouring.
I think people were happy. I think they must have waited until after the tours had sort of come back as scheduled. And yeah, I mean, well, we didn't step off. We usually do make a point of very
It's absolutely pouring down.
Yeah, so we did a bit of a tour of the cabins and then trying to get, we'll show that later, but yeah.
It's good.
So yes, all doing work, but
yeah. Have you been working away, or you have particularly working away? I've read some books. Once. Only time I get a chance to read books. But, no, it's been great, and the crew, as ever, although there's been lots of crew that we didn't know, they've come from various other cruise lines. Celebrity, Olsen America, where else have we had?
The executive chef was on Cruise Maritime previously, for example. Princess P&O, etc.
Loads. So I think what Fred's done is grab the best from other cruise lines whilst they weren't working.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gathering. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to know though whether they've retained, say, a lot of Braemar and Balmoral styles in those respective ships, because then people like that familiarity with the new ships. They might have got some of the old Boudica Black Watch and these new, because obviously it's much larger.
No, so it's a great ship. I really do like it. I'm not very good at directions, so I tend to go the wrong way.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of where I can never remember how to get down to deck
Even
4.
when I'm telling her,
I've always got a problem
it's
with.
painful.
But I think now I'm on day 14.
The last day.
We've
got like a few hours left.
I have grasped it now, haven't I?
Yeah.
No, it's been lovely, and every single member of crew, from the top to the bottom, has been fabulous.
Yeah,
really,
I mean,
really
they
good.
always are with friends, but I kind of feel like it's only just because it's been on since we've been on friends, and I think obviously with the break, it's
meant even
everyone's
more.
just so happy to be back on board,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
meant even more.
crew, passengers, etc. And
No, so it's been really, really good.
And the cruise show, so obviously last night was the final fortnight, that's when the captain traditionally does this sort of like farewell cocktail thing.
Yeah, but he did it differently.
Yeah.
He did it so right. You know, rather than say how many eggs have been consumed and everything else, he was highlighting many departments and
But a
many
lot of
people
behind the scenes
behind
really
the scenes that don't get any credit. Although obviously they do, but they don't get credit to the passengers, i.e. the dishwasher.
Yeah, so you never get to say thank you to them because they're.
It was really about, as I say, highlighting the members of different departments and what they do and what's really important to actually make the cruise and everything else run
All
smoothly.
the nuts and bolts really that make
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah. I mean, the chef's still got a cheer, but not like we used 2 years ago when that was the main thing, when the chefs
they used to
all came on.
introduce all the individual departments of the,
But
the
this
chefs,
time
sous
it's
chefs,
really picking out, the real goings on behind the scenes.
Yeah, people who don't normally get the
Yeah.
credit
No.
that they deserve. And
That was lovely.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
also, like for every day when he does his sort of like noon announcement, when they sort of say the weather, how many knots, all that sort of stuff. He always makes a point of actually letting everyone know which crew members got birthdays and stuff.
Yeah, that was.
So I think he's actually the sort who
very,
actually is all about I guess, the teamwork really.
And all the staff that's on board. At the end of the day, he can't operate without the staff, and they can't operate without him. So
I mean, we had a really interesting conversation with him. Like, was it day one? Like the first full day or something?
Yeah, day one.
Day one or two. One of them, because we had 3 days going out sailing, and we'd organised. Well, I don't think they quite realised it was going to be filmed, but it is. And
he thought we just wanted to chat, apparently.
I think what I'd be writing shorthand notes or something, but now I've got it all on tape. With the captain, Simon, the we call him the entertainment manager now, but it's traditionally what used to be the cruise director.
He's really good.
Yeah, lovely.
He's not cheesy.
And also the lovely Sydney, the executive chef. So we've got 3 of the main men on board. And been very accommodating, and it's just been like, it's interesting because it's a brand new ship for Fred Olsen, and obviously it's larger in terms of gross tonnage, but same amount roughly, give or take a few, passenger numbers of that world, although obviously it's nowhere near capacity at the moment for COVID. I think it's 80% is the maximum they're allowed, but there's way less than that.
I think there's 450-ish on this cruise.
So there were
passengers.
So it would be interesting to see what it's like in full swing.
Yeah.
But it's so many different areas on board that there'll be ample opportunities for and actually because of the amount of venues, you wouldn't feel crowded.
Yeah, it's that I found quite different to the other Fred Olsen ships. There's so much choice on the public areas, inside and outside.
Yeah, and some of them are just those lovely little nooks that you can just sort of sit in.
Yeah, really good.
And it's interesting because some of them are like more open plan, like the lounge deck almost is not entirely open plan, but it's sort of, you can sort of swoop through almost. There's quite a few bars and lounges and things.
We've got the ocean bar, which is lovely. Actually, we didn't go in there properly until last night. It was a great atmosphere in there. Piano bar's very good. So I love the piano bar.
Observatory is that really comes up. That's probably like night after dinner. That's probably the place to be really, because you do have currently you have status, and they're a very good band, very popular.
Yeah, very very.
And I think especially when dancing is allowed again, you can really. And also, I do think that the ocean bar will come into its own. Dancing.
It's got a dance floor there, hasn't it? So that'd be good. And it'd be great. Obviously, you can't sit at the bars. You've got lovely bar stools. You can't sit there, which is fair enough. It's the same throughout.
Yeah, cruising's much stricter than
But but I can imagine. There's lightning.
That was a big.
But no, I can imagine. Obviously we've thought, great. There will be eventually people sitting at the bars, sitting down on those bar stools, and
I mean, it must be such a challenge.
So if we're enjoying it now, it can only get much better and more atmospheric.
Yeah, because it must be such a challenge to bring on a new ship that's like an evolution from your previous existing one. So it's very different to what your customers know and love. And although Fred Olsen's never done cookie cutter ships, this, Bolette and Borealis are like, I guess, a different tier, or it's a bit like apples and oranges. And so to some extent that obviously would attract excitement, but also perhaps a little bit of controversy from some die-hard passengers.
So obviously we've got quite a few guests on board, haven't we, about our own clients.
And some coming on next cruise that missed out on us.
And a bit of Canada before.
That's fine.
And so it's been nice to hear their comments. Lovely cocktail party with them.
Oh yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Especially don't really get to see
everyone
face to face, and they're not local. So
they're not local to us, but that was nice. And they've all loved it. They've all got another cruise, and one of them has already booked another cruise on board to go again.
No, what I meant to say was it must be a challenge for Fred Olsen to bring on these 2 new ships.
Yeah.
And actually, in the context of a pandemic, so like the captain was saying, wasn't he, about? I mean, that must be really creepy to be on board. It's like basically empty, and like I guess skeleton crew pulled it up to.
I think at one point it was
Mary Celeste.
So at one time there was only 10 of them on board the ship.
Oh, that would just give you the willies. And then,
Yeah,
I mean, there's still spaces
As he
that,
said, you know, he just mucked in as well. It didn't matter that he was the captain; he was mucking in as well. So, yeah, that's great.
but there's I mean, there's some areas that are still not open yet. So the forest estate is due to open potentially January. I'm not entirely sure. That's going to be a estate.
Yeah.
I think in the you know that little packet, Welcome to Bolette, it does say something that it's meant to be more Scottish inspired or something.
Oh, right, okay.
So
I think there's a few more surprises down the line, which is good.
So and I think the studio is going to surprise everyone because no one knows what it's going to go.
So it's called the studio, so
so whether it's going to be like, you know, nudes, watercolour nudes, I don't know.
But no, we've been so lucky to have been on board again. It's been absolutely great. Really, really lovely.
Yeah, it's been magical. It's just been
like coming home, isn't it?
Yeah. It's still kept the Fred Olsen magic, really.
It has
hasn't
actually,
it?
yeah. And that's key.
Yeah,
That's key,
like
definitely. You can see all the, the guests on board. Literally everybody, the guests on the crew, have all got big smiley faces under the masks.
Yeah, you can see the eyes.
No, but the guests are loving it. So
I mean,
I keep my ear to the ground and listen to things. And in all honesty, I haven't heard anything negative. Well, I've got my ear wigging, so that's good.
Well, I mean, it's just nice. For example, so they now have a Lido pool with a retractable roof, which is obviously a new thing for Freds. And what they've done a few times is they've got like the sort of string trio,
that's nice.
and they sort of do like lunchtime music, which is really lovely. And it's actually really fun, and people are they're cheering along, and then they actually ask for encores, and so it's just really nice just actually hearing people. So they'll be singing along to the song, so that we perhaps
huge differences really to the other ships, but there again they've got the scope on here because it's well, for Fred's quite a large ship, and as Amy said, it carries the same amount of passengers as Balmoral, but the public areas and the different things they can do is brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great choice of like venues, and also like for example, one key thing is the auditorium. Like previously on a sea day, they used to sometimes in the Neptune Lounge, I think it used to be, they used to do like perhaps a chef's demonstration. But like that can only really be done perhaps on a sea day. Now you've got this auditorium, it's like really kitted out for doing cooking demonstrations. Yeah. And they do that every day, regardless whether it's a sea day or a shore day. Yeah. And also it's it doesn't matter where you're sitting because there's also like sort of screens, so you can actually watch like in sort of a bird's eye view of what the chef's doing, which is really good. So that's a really nice twist, and also tasting looks really good as well.
Anyway,
I
think your battery's about to die on your camera.
No, but that was a lightning.
Oh, okay.
But we've wrapped it on enough, and we've got to pack. We've got to finish packing. So.
Finish packing,
but we're very impressed with Bolette. It's really good to be back with Freds. So
absolutely.
And also the destination is very nice as well. Cardiff is really nice.
Really good
Tarragona.
No.
They're our two favourites, I think. Cheers.
Cheers.